Bud Light said that they will buy everyone in Denver a beer to celebrate if Brandon McManus breaks the field goal record for the longest field goal record.
Oh, I did see this. Brandon McManus, I believe he was on either Good Morning Football or another NFL network, another NFL-owned channel or something like that. And they talked about how if Brandon McManus breaks the current record of 64 yards in Denver, that everybody 21 years of age and older will get a free beer from your friends at Bud Light. Now, listen, there's a couple things I like. Long field goals, and I like free beer. So here's two things put into one story that I absolutely love. And Brandon McManus, good friend of mine, the guy actually lived in my house for a little bit whenever he's with the Indianapolis Colts. Brandon McManus, I am also not scared to say, first person that I have ever stepped on the field with, and I said, you know what? That guy's leg can probably keep up with mine. McManus has a massive leg. And he's in Denver, so their recipe is there for him to potentially break the record. And he has Tom McMahon as a special teams coordinator who does have the gut sack to tell the coach to send him out there for a potential 65-yard dong shot for the brand at Mile High. Whenever this was announced, though, there's a man who has a touchdown pass in Lambeau Field. There's a man who is a legend off the field. There is a man who is 5'10". He doesn't have like a Greek god build, but for whatever reason, whenever he goes on the field for the long ball, it is expected to be going through, and he is the man who currently holds the NFL's longest field goal record at 64 yards, and that's Matt Prater of the Detroit Lions. And he said, excuse me, Bud Light, I heard what we're trying to do over there in Denver with the free Bud Lights for everybody, and I like that Denver, which is a town that smokes a awesome amount of marijuana, and they would definitely love a free beer. But what happens to this city? What happens to the Motor City? What happens to Detroit Rock City? Yep. What happens to the city that might be getting CPR in it because the Ford Bronco is back? What happens to the people of Detroit when I break my own record of 64 yards? And Bud Light, by the way, has yet to answer.
Wow.
To answer our guy, Matty Prater. Does Bud Light hate Detroit? Do they hate Matt Prater? Or are they just acting as if this deal is only with McManus? Because I would like to say this for the brand Bud Light. I think every single kicker who is in the National Football League will be in the National Football League. If they hit a 65-yard field goal, it should be worth 4 points, first of all. That's a conversation I'll have with Commissioner Goodell at some point. But I think they would absolutely love the thought of you dumping beer on the entire city in celebration, because that's what punters and kickers are, by the way. They're people pleasers. They're beer drinkers. They're have a good time. When we come on the field, let's celebrate. And if they hit from 65, Bud Light, you should buy everybody, maybe in the country, a free beer who's 21 years of age. Not just in Denver, not just in Detroit, but how about everybody in the country for getting a chance to witness an absolute cannon from a man wearing next to no pads and looks a lot smaller and less athletic than everybody else on the field, but absolutely bombing balls for 3 points.
Hell yeah.
That's a great idea. What about if they let, like, Prater just drive around the city in, like, a Stone Cold beer truck, and he's just, like,
got the hose.
Yeah, he's got the hose, and he's just spraying everybody.
And by the way, not a bad time for Coors Light to potentially come in and say, hey,
True.
Listen, Prater. Yeah, exactly. Bud Light's coming into Denver, by the way, and doing this. So if I'm Coors Light, you know what I mean, from Golden, Colorado, I'm taking the mountains, the Silver Bullet. I'm going right over to Detroit Rock City and saying, listen, Prater, you were once a Bronco. Now that you're a Lion, if you break your own record, we'll give you the same beer truck with the hose, and you can just spray it at every human in Detroit if you want, and they'll take it down like Foxy's dad, like a beer bong.
If I know the city of Detroit, they don't care what beer it is as long as it's beer.
Hey, free beer's free beer. And if my guy's hitting a 65-yard field goal, I will chug that thing right to the head, which is what it's all about.
And we're going to need that 65-yard field goal when we're on our playoff run, baby.
10-6, Foxy.
Hey,
10-6 playoff.
How about
win.
this also, Coors Light? If the Lions make the playoffs, free beer for everybody in Detroit.
Or the world.
That. What's more likely, a 65-yard field goal by Prater or the Lions making the playoffs next year? 65-yard field goal by Prater. Final answer. Let's get some beer for the people of Detroit and a little bit of happiness if they do make the playoffs.